Good Morning Gwinnett presents the Friday Morning Mingle, the show hosted by the women of the Thrive Tribe, sponsored by the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. Check out the ladies every Friday morning at 10 a.m. as they talk about their real life as an entrepreneur. If you miss an episode, be sure to go to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past shows. Sit back and enjoy.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Good Friday Morning. I was about to say the Good Morning Gwinnett show. Oh, listen. I'm over here doing double duty, running around. Just got a lot going on right now. And I gotta forgive me because I'm still trying to. I've been up since like 5 o'clock. Like you would think that I'll be like set and ready to go. I am not. So forgive me, y'all. Just don't hold it against me. Whatever you do, don't hold it against me.
Maybe. I don't know yet. I might hold it against you. Give me a minute. Let me think about it.
Please don't hold it against me. I'm trying to find the hold on.
Hey everybody, while she's looking.
I got a lot going on. Good morning, Lucretia. Turn your video on, sugar.
Good morning, Georgette. How are you this Friday morning, darling? Good morning, Lucretia Key. How are you this morning, darling?
Excellent.
Friday.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm gonna actually go to eat my favorite food today, so I am pumped.
What is
I
that?
love Ethiopian food. I love Ethiopian food. So I'm going to lunch. Somebody that I met through my friend, through my husband's band. She used to sing at church with them, and so we become like acquaintances, and so we try to go to lunch every once in a while and try different things. And so I got her to go to the Ethiopian restaurant. So I'm excited.
Now, are you going to Desta? Are you going to Desta? Y'all know it's my birthday weekend as well. So I'm going to Desta.
Girl, I did not know all that.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, it's Tuesday.
Yes.
Nice, very nice.
But Desta is my favorite. What are you going to have?
I don't know yet. I always have the lamb though. I just love their food. I fell in love with their food when I moved to Dallas. And well, that's not true. Somebody in New York introduced me when I used to produce a show in New York called African American Legends. There was a couple of people that were on the show. They were from the Ethiopian consulate, and they turned me on to some Ethiopian food in Manhattan, and I've just been in love with it ever since. And my husband makes it amazingly. He just can't make the bread because the bread is very tricky, sourdough.
Injera.
Yeah, but he makes the food. It is amazing. But yeah, so I'm excited. That's my favorite food, honestly.
When I go, I tear it up. We go. That was one of my sister who passed. That was our thing, and she introduced me to it. And we would get the meat lovers, where you get to choose your meat. So we would do that and choose whatever we wanted. Like the salmon is good. I think they have tilapia. So we would go fluctuate between those types of fish. But we also would have the ribeye, and chicken. But have you tried the short ribs?
No, I haven't tried the short ribs.
Oh my God!
I'm a big lamb person. So anytime I can eat lamb, that's what I usually save it for. So, but it was funny when I lived in Dallas. They had a great restaurant there that I used to actually do a show out of. She let me do a show out of there. I had a show called Dinner Chat, and she let me use some of her space. But I would invite people there every time they would come to Dallas because her stuff. She did Ethiopian and she did Italian. So it was so cool when people didn't want to try the Ethiopian food, or they were, not too sure they could get Italian food at the same time. So she, it was a great option. So I would drag everybody there. Come eat this. And when I went back to Texas, Adam, my son took me. That was my first place he took me to when I came to visit. He took me there for lunch because, I just love the food. It's very comforting. It's just delicious. So if anybody out there has never tried Ethiopian food, got to try it because it's really delicious. Really amazing.
And Desta here in Atlanta is amazing. Which I want to try Ike's Grill as well, and I forget which region or where have you there that is from. It's not. I don't want to just say the wrong thing, but it's Ike's Grill. But they have one in Ghana. I want to say it's in Ghana, so it might be Guyanese as well. But I've heard great things, and I tasted just a little smidge of something that someone had, and it was amazing. And this one in Norcross.
Sorry, ladies, to go on a tangent of food, but you asked me how was my week. I'm
Sorry,
just saying,
yeah.
I'm excited. you can get to eat food that you like. You know, you get excited.
I want y'all to know we didn't even get invited to this lunch. She never invites me to anything, y'all. Just so y'all know.
Invited me.
Like,
she invited me.
Listen. Georgette never invites me to anything. I want y'all to know that.
Oh my gosh! Because I never go nowhere.
Like, oh, you got this, such and such. I'm like, man, get the invite. Man. Anyway, I probably wouldn't like that anyway. So it's all good.
See, she won't like it.
It's all good.
And please, y'all, forgive me for a minute. It's gonna look a little kind of weird right through here for a second because I'm taking care of something, but eventually I'm gonna stabilize. So you might have a blank screen for a second, but I'm right here. I can hear you.
So we're gonna have a blank screen. I'll pop you out and then I'll pop you back in.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, so that's the power of technology, right? Like you can go ahead and do what you got to do. We'll pop you back in when you come back up. I love it. So what's going on, ladies, this weekend? Letitia, you about to hit the road, baby, for the book signing.
Yes. Birmingham, Alabama, the Civic Center, Civic Arena. I am super pumped, super excited.
When you leave
to be tonight? With amongst, I believe it's a total of 12 authors that's going to be here. Be there this weekend. So tonight is going to be the meet and greet for all the authors, and then the actual book fair starts tomorrow. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Right. So you leave tonight, you said?
I'm actually leaving right after this show.
Okay, but we want to hold you.
Listen, this is I told you, ladies, I am dedicated. I am committed. So, whatever I have to do. So no, after this show, then, my assistant and I will be taking our first road trip. So we are going to touch and agree that that's going to go well.
In church, everybody, let's touch and agree with 2 or 3 are in the midst. I know Creature, 2 or 3 in the midst. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Traveling safety, traveling mercy.
Chelsea, pop in and tell the ladies good morning.
Amen.
This is my faithful and wonderful assistant.
Hey, Chelsea.
Thank you.
So that's exciting. So we were all supposed to be on that trip. I couldn't get there, but I will be in Chattanooga next month. So we will all be there as well. Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're going to be at 2 locations. We're going to be at All Good Bookstore, which I'm excited about that. It's a book cafe. All Good Book Cafe will be there. We're also going to be at Davis Wayne's. It's a restaurant, and that's exciting too. So. And it's a restaurant, so I'm excited to taste some food. They say Tennessee got this really hot chicken. I'm not going to even try to eat that chicken. I eat hot food. They say that chicken so hot.
I didn't know that either.
Huh?
I didn't know that they had really, really hot chicken.
They say they got this chicken that's really hot to the point that people be crying eating it. I'm like, seriously, I can't even enjoy that.
No, I like spicy food, but I like it to the point to where I can enjoy it. Not to where I'm having to drink with every bite in order for me to get through it. No, that's not my idea of good.
Yeah, me either. Plus my tongue is so messed up. I can't taste anything else.
Exactly. So I won't be doing that.
Yeah, me neither. So we're gonna be in Chattanooga. So go by. So where are you guys gonna be in Alabama? So people who are watching, there may be some people in Alabama. Where are you gonna be in Alabama so that they can come through to the book fair to meet you guys and get a signed book and all that good stuff?
I don't know the exact name, but you know what? My lovely assistant is going to look it up, and I'll get back to you guys on that. I just know Birmingham, Alabama. I believe it's going to be at a Civic Arena, but I'm not 100% certain. The great thing is, having a team. I don't have to always do everything because they just direct me and tell me where I need to go, what I need to do. So that's the great thing about it. But she'll pop back in and give me the information, and I'll let you know.
All right, cool. We'll pop that up there so you guys can go out and support them. They're the authors, 12 authors. Listen, I know you guys think writing a book is easy, and with technology, you probably think it's even easier. But here's the thing: you still have to get the thoughts out of your head onto paper,
right.
and then you have to make sure they make sense, and then you have
Yes.
to make sure you said everything you want to say. It is not as simple as it may sound, even with technology, unless you're
Yeah.
writing nonfiction. Unless you're writing fiction, fiction is easier. But how we do things, how we do the things we do, that's not easy, because we've been around for a long time doing this. We've had so many experiences. To putting it on paper, you have to decide, well, should I put this in the
Decide
book?
what to
Should I not
put.
put that
Yeah.
in the book? Should I add that to the book? Should I not add that to the book? So it's like an ongoing thing. So if you guys in Birmingham, once Chelsea comes back with the information, we want you guys to go out and support them tomorrow. Get your book signed, take pictures with the book, tag everybody, tag the Friday morning mingle, so we'll know. We'll see you guys, and I'm sure that won't be our last trip to Birmingham. On the
Oh
next go
no.
around, I'll be there. I'll be in Chattanooga though. I'll be in Chattanooga. Then I'll be in Baltimore in October,
Baltimore.
and then I think
Mhm.
we're going to Houston. We have to lock down a place. I heard Houston is the bomb, but we have not locked down a place yet to actually have a
Okay,
book signing. So, and that will
I
be
have the
November.
information.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to be at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, Odessa Woolfolk Gallery.
That's a
Okay.
whole lot. We're gonna do
Yes.
this Birmingham.
Can you see this?
You can write it in
Now,
the chat. Can you
just
write
tell me
it
the
in the
first part.
chat?
They
I
can
can
Google
write in the
it.
chat.
Birmingham.
Yes.
What is it? Birmingham
Civil
Civil
Rights
Rights.
Institute and Odessa Woolfolk Gallery. And I write in the chat.
All right, yeah. So maybe that'll work. Because I'm like, what in the
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah.
All
Let
right.
her
So
write it
today
in
we're
the
talking
chat.
about overcoming mind-blowing setbacks. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
that is something that we probably have all experienced at some point, and we want to share with you guys what happens. The life as an entrepreneur comes with so many different experiences, right? It comes with a lot of ups and downs. It comes with a lot of different setbacks. It comes with a lot of everything. And if you are in business, just even in life, you're going to have some setbacks. Whether you want to or not, you're going to have some. So we wanted to just talk to you about how we have overcome some of our major setbacks in life, like share what those were, and how we've overcome. So um I'll let Georgette start.
So many setbacks, right? I think, like you said, it's for me, overcoming setbacks has always been challenging. But I tend to have really amazing friends, and I will tell you that has really helped me a lot because being able to talk it out and process what has just happened. Sometimes you have to have people to talk to. That's how I feel about it. I don't I try not to go inward and just stay that way. I eventually, I mean, I obviously when something happens, like I had one of my setbacks was when I was dealing with my In the Doll World podcast. I had a co-host with me, and she decided to leave, and that was all in fine. That was all good. I really wasn't prepared for that, but it happened, and but it was the aftermath behind all that was just challenging for me because this person I thought was a really good friend of mine, and we shared a lot of stuff together. And then I just felt that she just tried to take my show from me. She just that's how I felt about it, and so it was just really, really difficult. I think that setback was like a really challenging one for me because it wasn't just business for me, it was personal too. But I had people to lean on. I had people to talk through and go through the process. And at some point, I just realized at the end of the day, what did I want to do with that show? Why did I create that show? And after I realized why I created that, then it kind of forced me to say, well, it doesn't make a difference what happens on the other side. The reason that I created this show was to give people a platform to talk about what they do in the space that nobody really, thinks about. And I wanted to give them opportunity. So, I just, for me, it was being able to talk through that process with people, to have other people to lean on, to have other people to cry with, and because I was just really not so much, I was angry, but I was just more hurt than anything about that whole situation. And so for me, that's how I kind of deal with it. I like to talk it out. I like to share stuff with my friends and talk to them about it and listen to their feedback because I mean, everybody sees things differently, and they're going to share what it is that they see. But in the the ultimate part of that is what are you going to do with that? Who are you going to come out as a person? Like, what type of person you're going to come out to be through all of this process? And I had to make that decision for myself, but having people there and relying on the fact that I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years, I know that there's struggles with everything that we go through, struggles with life in general. And I have had other struggles in my life too, and I've gotten through them. And so I think sometimes we forget that those things have happened to us before, maybe in different forms, but we are still here. And so I think you have to look at that too, and look at how strong you truly are. So for me, it's been friends, being able to bounce back from setbacks through having just really great friends, and also having knowledge of how life is in general. I'm old enough to understand life is a roller coaster. So you just have to figure out how best you're going to be able to roll with that. Yeah.
And the thing is, when you have the people to help you, a lot of times too, you think you get in your own head thinking you're the only one, that's dealing with whatever the issue is. And a lot of times what ends up happening, which is why you need that group, that team, is that someone will say, you know what, I had this happen before, or you know what, this is what I did to get through it. And even if they did not, because now you've experienced it, they can help you get through it. So if they actually have a setback, now they have tools that will help them, as well as someone to be able to help them to talk through what different things to do to get through it. So I think definitely having a support system is key, because the thing that I can tell you that I realized for myself, and I'm sure you ladies can back me up, is setbacks don't stop.
No. No,
you don't just have one setbacks and it's like, oh, I'm good now. They don't stop. Stuff just keeps happening. So it's like knowing that the older you get, the more you go through it and you process it, what ends up happening is that all the tools help you, so that now when they come, you're able to process them a lot quicker. Yeah. And, if I may, I can tell y'all about an opportunity that could have been a mind-blowing setback for me that happened just yesterday.
Wow.
Just yesterday. So yesterday was a very, very busy day. This whole week has been busy for me, but yesterday was very, very busy with what I had on my schedule. Now, you all know that I'm heading out of town to head to Alabama, and I'm actually going to be driving my car. So I believe it started Wednesday. When I turned to start my car, it kind of hesitated a little bit. And I was like, that's never happened before. But, listen, I'm a woman. So if it starts, I'm going to keep it moving. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't stop to try to figure out why it hesitated. None of those things. I just like, well, good. Just kept it moving. And so then the next day, which was yesterday morning, I got in my car. And it hesitated a little bit more, but it started. And I was like, oh, man, I think I probably need to go ahead and get this taken care of, because the last thing I need is to get stuck. Chelsea and I getting lunch somewhere and, old $1.30 in my car. So I said, I'll just take care of it. So we had the lunch and learn yesterday. Everything, it hesitated again, but it started. I go in, I come back out. Guess what? It didn't start. Oh, and so I'm like, okay. So I started again, and hear me old school pressing the gas. Like, come on, baby. Start for mama. Come on, baby. And she started. So I'm like, okay, what in the world? Today is Thursday. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. If I have to put my car in the shop, there's no way it's going to be ready for me to get on the road tomorrow at 10 o'clock. What in the world am I going to do? So not only that, I have an event in Atlanta that I have to be there by 5:30. We all know it takes an hour from where we are to get there, and that's without traffic. Yes. So again, and did I not mention I had a 3 o'clock conference call?
Oh, wow.
Okay. So 3 o'clock conference call, got to be in Atlanta at 5:30. And now my car is like acting like, yeah, what's up? What you want me to do? So I'm sitting there driving. I called my mechanic. And he said, well, I can't look at it till today. You can drop it off. We'll see about tomorrow. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I have to, I'll take a lift to the event. And, with the other author, I'll just give her a call if I have to and ride with her and drop my car off and see, what happens when I get back. So in my mind, I'm playing this. So my father is a mechanic and has been for years. He's retired. So I called him all the way in South Carolina. Listen, this is what's going on. So he's walking me through what the options were, which I thought it was either my battery or, my starter. And he said the same thing. So I was like, oh, isn't that lovely? See, I did listen to some things you taught me growing up. So then he was like, well, just go to an event or one of those places and see if they can put it on the machine. Well, I go. And the guy, he steadily flirted with me. And I'm like, man, I don't have time for this today. I just need you to see what I need to get ready. It's 2:45. Didn't I just tell you I have a 3 o'clock?
Oh, wow.
So he could not get the machine to work. So I'm talking to my dad to try to kind of backdoor tell him what he needed to be doing. Imagine that. Asking for help from one man to tell another man while the same man trying to flirt with you. Make it make sense. But anyway, to make a long story short, it did turn out to be the battery. So while he's fixing it, I have a makeshift office set up in the middle of advance. So I can do my video call with my client while he's finishing that, so I would not be late.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention, I forgot my daughter had to be to work at 4 o'clock. Oh. I completely forgot about her. In the midst of all of this, I completely forgot. So then I came back to the office, packed up everything, continued on my call, and I did it on my phone so I could still move around. I told Chelsea, listen, because we actually had a 2:15 meeting that I pushed back. I said, we'll just meet tomorrow. Or matter of fact, we'll just talk in the car on the way going to Alabama. So then I get to Atlanta on my way to Atlanta, and I'm looking down like, oh crap, my daughter has texted, she's called. I have work today. I said, oh my God, baby, take a lift. just take a lift. Because I'm already halfway to Atlanta. It's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It is just not going to happen. Wow. And so I finally got there about 4:45, 4:50. So I was on time before the event started. And I was like, you know what? I was upset because I had to spend extra money on a battery. But I was like, Letitia, don't be upset.
It could have been worse, man.
Exactly. Thank God that's all it was. Number one. Number two, that you had the funds to pay for said battery. And number three, in the midst of all this, you kept it moving. And all of that is because all of the other stuff I've had happen to me before, I've been able to now learn how to process and not let it take me out.
Yeah, not let it take over. Yeah, because once it takes over, then you're just in the mix, and you cannot. It takes so much longer to get out. And
not to mention, I had to call Audrey. I'm like, I need you to hear this. You're not gonna believe what happened. What? Are you serious? Oh my God! I know it wasn't that serious, but again, she's kind of pumping me up, as well as understanding the frustration in that moment, and that's what you need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you need.
You need
that's what you need. And now she's doing this in the midst of her trying to get set up for her event. And hold on, Letitia. Yes, I'm here. Okay, go ahead, girl.
That's exactly how it was. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. It was crazy. Let me tell y'all something. So let me just say this. So yesterday, because this was, I don't call this a setback, but it was definitely crazy. So I had to go to Gwinnett County's chairwoman. She had a kickoff yesterday down at Gas South. And, it started out as a beautiful event. First of all, Gas South is beautiful by itself. And we were in like a new pavilion that they just created because they just extended it out. So it's a hotel. They made a hotel attached directly to Gas South. And so we were like outside. So when I first get there, it's hot as all get out. And the lady saying, go back out the door. Now I've been to Gas South. Go back out the door, go down the stairs. I'm like, ma'am, I'm not about to go out there and sit in that heat. I'm about to go through this way, go down this escalator and sit down here in this air conditioning. So as I'm coming around, Two ladies, can we help you? I'm here for the chairwoman. Are you the family? No, I'm not the family. Good morning, Gwen. Oh, okay. I said, I'm going down here and sit down because it's extremely hot. She said, okay, well, go ahead. So I go downstairs, I sit down. So then her campaign manager come up and goes, hey, and so he introduced. I said, I met you before. I said, Audrey, tell me again. Belle Kearney, good morning, Gwinnett. Yes. So we get outside. She finally comes, and she has a twin sister. So that's another funny thing. So she has a twin sister, identical. So she comes out, and I'm seeing, there she's here, right? She has on the color that I see her wear a lot. She's here, and then I see her come back. I said, oh, she changed clothes because they look identical. I said, oh, she changed clothes, not thinking that the sister was going to be there. Oh, she changed clothes. So she comes back out. So she's talking. Then I see I'm like, oh, crap, that's her sister. So the two of them are there. Now, a lot of people got them mixed up all night because it was crazy. So then she goes on stage and she goes to talk. And she's talking. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this wind just starts to I'm talking about, woo, it's making the noise. You can hear the noise, woo, out of nowhere. And blows a sign down on her on stage.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh my God. And she's like, so when they got the sign off her, she's like, yeah, that hurt. Yeah, that hurt. But what could she say? So it wasn't a setback, but it was like, and she just kept it rolling. They got the sign off and she kept doing her speech and talking about all the great things that she's accomplished as a chairwoman since she's been in Gwinnett County. Now that wasn't necessarily a setback, but she didn't have the sign, and people were videotaping. So when you're talking and somebody's videotaping, you want your sign behind you, so they share the video, they see the sign. But that wasn't necessarily a setback. But what I will say about setbacks is that, and Les Brown used to say this all the time.
I know.
A setback is only a setback is a setup for a comeback. So that's how we have to start looking at it. And sometimes people just get lost in the setback.
Yes.
Like they get lost in the setback. They don't know how to navigate. They don't know how to pull themselves out. But you have to. If you're trying to move forward, you have to pull yourself out of the setback. And so I think having good people in your corner is absolutely one of the best things ever, because I think my biggest setback, and this was hard crushing, when I lost my mom. And because I had made some really good built some really good relationships, I was able to lean on those relationships, when I couldn't get out the bed, when I couldn't, I really didn't want to eat, things like that. People were checking on me when I couldn't even do my business, and it suffered tremendously. I had good relationships. So relationships are everything. And just talking to yourself in a good, it's okay. This too shall pass. That's biblical, right? This too shall pass. You got to tell yourself that stuff. You got to give positive affirmation to yourself, because otherwise you'll stay there and nothing's going to happen. You can't change the setback. It's gone. It is what it is. Keep it moving. You hear people say that, and they'll say it, but they're not living it. They're still living in the setback, even though they say it is what it is. They're still there, and you can tell when they're still there because they talk about it. And I realized that I had a friend. She had a tremendous setback, and she talked about it all the time. And I said, that's because she's still hurting. And I realized that, because when you're not hurting and things don't bother you, don't even talk about it. You just keep it moving. Like it's like it happened, it's over. I'm moving on, and you keep going. But you can tell when people have had a setback, something that has hurt them, they talk about it. They may not talk about it a whole lot, but they bring it up. And that's because they're still trying to work through the pain. Now, when they're not talking about it a whole lot, they are working through the pain. But if you hear them talking about it over and over and over, they're stuck in a setback. So don't get stuck in a setback. If you find yourself talking about the same thing over and over and over, you're stuck in a setback. You're stuck in the pain. And you might want to consult with somebody or talk to somebody about, how do I move forward? And it's okay to ask for help. It is definitely okay. We can't do everything, right? I know we think we can, and I know some people out there will beg to differ, but we cannot do everything.
And nor should you.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
No, nor should you. That's one of the worst things that I see, especially for us as women, is that, well, I'll speak for me. A lot of times I feel like we've been taught that we just have to carry the weight of everything, that you are supposed to do everything. And in the midst of you doing everything, you never take care of yourself. So that's why a lot of times setbacks become mind-blowing, because you don't have the time to really process it before you got to go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's not fair. That's not how it should be. You absolutely should be able to give yourself time to, you know, process and go through the motions and figure out, or give yourself time to do absolutely nothing.
Right.
That's what you need to do in that moment to be able to reset. But you know, I know a lot of times we live in a world right now where it's like, you know, I can do anything a man can do and all this. But my thing is always, but do you really want to?
Right.
Do you really want to? Because I know I don't want definitely to. Do not.
Yeah.
I don't. I really, really don't. Just because you can, should you?
Should you, right? But that also comes too with the fact that, you know, people, like you said, are just really prone to thinking that because we step up and we take care of things, that's the position we always want to have. It's not that. It's not that that's the position we always want to have, but we're always put in that position, right?
Exactly.
So sometimes we have to make things happen, and so we're constantly on the move. And I will tell you, when you are around other people, a lot of times they feel, well, yes, you know, they're always taking the brunt of everything. So let them do it. Trust me out there. They're not going to say, you have very few of those people that are going to say, hey, why don't you stop and take a break? That's not going to happen.
Right.
Not at all.
Going to tell you that because you're always taking care of everything. But just so everybody knows, yes, we can do a lot of things, and a lot of us may take care of a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that that's something that we always want to do. Right. And so it's nice if somebody will say, hey, you do a lot of things. Can, you know, just, hey, I'll take care of this for this time, or I'll take care of that for that time.
Let me know how that work out.
Right, exactly.
Let me know when that happens.
But that's what
I'm still waiting.
I think most of us are, but that's why I want to share that. But that's why I want to share that with people, because just because you have a friend and you have somebody in your life that takes care of a lot of things doesn't mean that that's something that they always want to do.
Exactly.
You know, they want to just take a break sometimes. So it's nice if somebody else comes along and says, hey, I will, you know, just take a break. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's like we're just not built to be on 24/7, even though we think we are, but we're not. And at some point, let me tell you, if your mind doesn't tell you to shut down, your body certainly will. And once that happens, there, you know, you have to listen. You know, but you don't want to get to that point where that's the only reason that you listen. So I mean, so if you got people in your life, people out there who are always constantly doing something, man, you know, just step in and say, hey, look, slow down. Let me take on this for a minute for you, because I mean, it's only, you know, because once that person that's always doing something stops or shuts down, then nothing happens. And we really, you know, I just think, you know, we just owe the opportunity for other people to step in and say, hey, let me help you with that, you know, because we can't do it 24/7, you know, our whole lives. It just we're not, you know, it just doesn't, it's not physically or mentally enduring, you know. So that's all I'm saying.
You want to jump in, Creech? We're talking about how to overcome mind-blowing setbacks. That's what we're talking. That's the discussion today, how to overcome mind-blowing setbacks. If you got a comment, we would love to hear a comment. I got to tell y'all this real quick. So someone on YouTube just wrote, now this is what they say. They says, success used to live there. They said success used to be, Gwinnett used to be great. Gwinnett schools are great. Learning came first, but now it's throwing its teachers and staff to the wolves. Well, it's growing. You know, I've been here 10 years, and what I've seen is that it's growing so fast. And here's the thing. It's growing because people think it's great. I love it here. And I'm sure the first 7 years I was here, they're like, what are you talking about? Because all you talk about is this Gwinnett place. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great, but I know that it's growing. And I know for a lot of people, growth is not always a good thing. And that's a setback for some people.
Yes.
Like growth is a setback. You know, the fact that we have micro transit now is a setback. You know, the fact that it's 1 million people living in Gwinnett County, that's a setback for some people.
Yes.
But here's the thing. The only thing that's constant is change.
So, right?
You know, what can you do outside of, you know, embracing the change? That's all you can do. Or, you know, you leave Gwinnett. I like Gwinnett. I'm not going anywhere. I can tell you this, though. When I first moved here, the thing that I loved about it was that I was halfway in the country and halfway in the city at the same time. Now I just feel like I'm in the city all the time. That's what I love. I'm country at heart. Albany, Georgia is my home. I'm country at heart. It's in my soul. It's in my spirit. It's who I am. I embrace that. And so that was one of the things I like. But I think for a lot of people, the growth of Gwinnett County has become devastating, and for them that's a setback, and that's a
Yeah.
mind-blowing
Yeah.
setback, especially when you grew up in Gwinnett. I didn't grow up in Gwinnett. I grew up in Newark. So when you've grown up in Gwinnett and you've seen what used to be just trees and beautiful land turn into like high rises and townhouses and apartment buildings, that's probably a setback for folks. That's like a mind-blowing setback, but it's change. It's a part of change. So
But that's happening in so many other towns. So no matter where you go, I mean, you're going to start out in a town that's going to be like really small and quaint, and that's why you moved there. But when other people really start to find out the reason that you moved there, just same reason that other people are moving there, things grow. When I was in Denton County in Texas, the same thing. It was a UNT was there, nice college town. It was really quiet. We didn't even have a Walmart. I mean, I remember moving in there, and then they started to build a Walmart. That's how early it was, and it was the same thing. Now it's booming. I mean, it's like people, even though it's north of Dallas, people love coming there because it's just so many opportunities. And I think a lot of these small towns always feeling that, that setback of, well, we had a little small town and now everything is changing because, that's where people are moving to those places. It's not just Gwinnett. It's a lot of small towns that are just exploding. Because they have the land there, they have the space there, and people want to have all this, like you said, people want to have that city feel, even in a small town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I totally get that, but it happens everywhere. So
it does. You know what's crazy is my brother's an educator. He's an educator, been one for a long time. He lives in Gwinnett County. He's an educator, and I think a lot of times we always say teachers are underpaid and overworked. We know that's the truth. We know that's all around the world. That's the truth. Yep. But I think what has to happen now is that we have to take politics and hate out of everything, because I feel like it's so much politics and hate in everything. I'm talking about, I don't care what anybody says. When you look around, and I don't want to get off the subject, but I just want to say that it's so much politics. Everywhere I go, it's politics. It drives me insane. I'm at a breakfast, it's politics. I'm on the other side, it's hate. So it's so much politics and hate and everything. That's why a lot of times stuff don't get done. If we remove the politics, the stupid politics, and all this unfortunate, unwarranted hate away from stuff, we'll be fine. But we can't get past those two things. Like, that's why the world is so screw. I want to say something else, but we try to keep this family PG. That's why it's so effed up. It's too much hate. It's too much politics. It's just too much. And so if people had sense enough to say, you know what, let's come together for the good of all, everybody. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. It's the good for some, and we don't give a F about the rest.
About that's the others, right, exactly, right.
We don't care about the rest. Like, it's only, it's only good for some. So I want to get off on a tangent about that. Krish, go ahead. You want to talk about setbacks? Because I can get on. Listen, y'all know, if you don't know, I used to have a show called Popcorn and Politics, just so you know. And that's all I talked about on that show was politics. And all we talked to was politicians. And so I'm not going to take that here. Go ahead, Krisha. Because I can go all day long on that. That may be another show. It is election season.
No, but you know what? Sometimes when you flowing, just flow. I'm good. I mean, I jump in because some things just need to be said in that moment. That's why it's morning mingle. I mean, we wherever it go because it's gonna reach somebody. We reaching the masses right now. So. I mean, I whatever I'm led to say, I'll say. I got a few thoughts on quite a few things, but you in the flow right there. So just go. That's good. That's
go ahead, because I can go into a straight rant, and I don't want to do that because I don't. Let me just say this. If you stop for a second, and I'm talking to everybody around the world, if you just stop for 1 second and realize two things: we're all human, and we all bleed red blood. Well, that's them too. Think about those, right? I don't care who you love. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you don't eat. We all human. We all bleed red blood. If we just kept those two things in mind, we would be a better world. But we don't, because I don't worship this. I don't look like that. My skin color ain't this color. All of these nonsensical things come into play, and they change everything. You don't want books in the schools. You don't want books out of the schools. You don't want. I can go on, but I won't. So if we could just say, you know what, we're all human. And we pretty much all want the same thing.
Yep,
We want our kids to have a good education. We want our families to be safe. We want to be able to have
good paying
good
jobs.
living.
That's right.
We want good paying jobs. We all want the same thing. But for some reason,
people always trying to take that away from other
people's minds just don't. It don't resonate with them. They see colors. I wear red, you wear blue. I wear blue, you wear red. They see that all that nonsense. It's all politics. I want my kids to learn. I want them to be able to come out of school with a good education. I want them to be able to come into the community and be prosperous. I want them to be able to contribute to the community. I want them to be able to solve future problems because we got them coming. But while we over here stuck in politics, we got shit that's happening. Excuse my French. Stuff that's happening and nobody's paying attention to it. And who's gonna rescue us? The next generation. But they can't rescue us. They don't know what to do because everything else about politics. Yeah. All the nonsense that's going on. I want to start. Go ahead, Krisha. I'm gonna stop right there.
I mean, it's just good. I actually I didn't lose my train of thought, but I'm just talking about what's relevant. And in this moment right here, you're just talking about unity. And that's what I'm hearing one day.
Yes.
And but it takes all of, for me, it's just like the fivefold ministry. A lot of people don't really understand that. Some do. But I'm just gonna use your hand, for example. We need every digit. If the thumb is not working, these can function, but they struggle. So we all have to go together. If my pinky is off, they struggle. And if we can ever get to the point where we understand and get it that, God, and for me, I'm a believer. And I believe that we were created by God. So he formulated a wonderful plan when he created us. And each function of us, it has a purpose. And each individual has a purpose. It may not be your purpose, but we each have a purpose. Mm-hmm. But when we pull it all together, it becomes that oneness. That's that unity that you're talking about. It's no big I's and little U's, or anything like that. It's just people coming together to unify for the greater good. And that's basically what I'm receiving from you. And that is important. It is important in the political realm. People can get caught up in a big me. When it's really not about just a big you. Because if it's a big you, then it's you by yourself. All in all, we have to unify. Our children are coming up. Each one of us want just the very things that you were saying. Mm-hmm. We want a good home life. We want to be able to go to work in peace. That's the bottom line. We want peace. Mm-hmm. How do we get that? We get those things by communicating. And I should be able to hear you. You should be able to hear me. We may not agree. We may not agree on everything, but there is a space where we have something in common, where we can unify and bring balance on that commonality, whatever that thing may be, which is what you just said. Peaceful life, decent job. We all want to make some money, and there's plenty of money out here. If you think about it, it's the air. It's the very air that we breathe. That when that opportunity is the ability to get money. That brings everybody together. We can all communicate about that. So, but if I want to control how you make your money and you want to control how I make my money, we got a problem. We don't need problems. Let's unify, which is what you're saying. But back to the topic. What was the topic again? What is, because I can't.
How to overcome mind-blowing setbacks.
So it's so funny because I was listening to a word from Pastor Tubman, and he's one of the pastors at and this is a shout out to Potter's House. There's some who listen to Bishop Jakes. I do, and I like a lot of his ministers. But he was actually talking. He was taking his points came from the Book of Job, and he was talking about. It was called, I believe, and I may be wrong, but it said going through hell in one day. Just it's been a hell of a day. That's what it was. And so he was just speaking from the space of how we live. We talk about our problems. Letitia was talking about what she experienced on yesterday. And that was one day of that. the day before she getting ready to travel. But Job himself experienced tragedy after tragedy within minutes of each other. The ultimate was that his children were dead, and that was in one day. And some of the things that was spoken in it was about his faith. Jesus had said, just look up. But what he said was, can I just catch my breath? Which is what Letitia was saying earlier. Look, sometimes you got to know when to take a break. You got to know when to take a breather. And like Georgette was saying, you have to have some people sometimes that can see you being busy, because you can wind up being a busybody as well. Just constantly going like a gerbil. That would be me. I'm constantly running. Let me just do it. Let me just go. Let me just do it. And it's rare for somebody to say, hey, listen, chill out. Just chill out. This is true. But sometimes when you so busy doing, you can be controlling in that aspect as well. Like I do it, if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done, correctly. Excuse my grammar. But we do have to have people that can say, hey, you need to tamp down for a minute, because you're not gonna get it right. You can get thrown off or what have you. So it's a lot that to unpack in that. But bringing it full circle back to what you were saying, good communication, having a good view about peace and what peace means to you, is very valuable. That's my takeaway, my little point.
The other thing, the other thing I wanted to share about overcoming setbacks too. I mean, having friends is beautiful, because it does help you to be able to talk to people, share those things, but also having something else that you can utilize to help you to calm yourself, right? To put you in a different space. So whether that is prayer, whether that is meditation, whether that is yoga, whether that is exercise, you know what I mean? All of those things help, with you being able to deal with other setbacks, because sometimes you have to get released physically. You know what I mean? You have to either work out, you have to, or either calm your mind or do something like that. So even having a different or some other kind of modality or things that you utilize to help you to release stress and anger, you know what I mean, and fear. When you have those setbacks, I think is so really, really helpful. I know everybody does their own thing, and again, it's just being accepting to what's out there, and that just because you don't do this particular modality doesn't mean that something's wrong with you or something is not right with you. You can choose a different modality to help you to get through a lot of setbacks, be it yoga or, like I said, meditation or prayer or exercise or anything like that. So, for me, my form is tapping. I tap all the time. EFT tapping has helped me do so many things, even when I was going through the setback and trying to figure out how I'm going to do this show, how I'm going to now do this show, step in and be two people when I had two people working on this show for me, and how do I get over somebody, feeling like they just, stabbed you in the back. I mean, how does that happen? How do I get through that? So it was a combination of that. So I just want to, let people be aware that sometimes you still have to also do other things to help you calm yourself, right? To help you deal with your anxiety, to help you deal with your fears, to help you deal with your anger about what's going on when you have a setback. Because I don't want us to think, because we have a setback, we're not angry about it, you know what I mean? Or that we're not pissed off that it happened. It does happen, and you do have a right to feel all those things. But at the same time, it's always better to have other tools to help you to deal with those feelings that you have. So,
and I think you brought up a really good point.
I want to jump in when you go ahead to that.
I was going to say, I think you brought up a very good point, Georgette, because as you were saying it, I was thinking about a lot of people aren't from Atlanta, and I am one of those persons.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I moved here in 2000, and all I had at the time was my spouse and my two younger children. So, we're talking a lot right now about friends and associates, which we all know as you journey in being an entrepreneur. A lot of friends that may have started that journey are not on that journey, after some time. And so I think what you said is crucial to understand that even if you don't have that friendship or that group, you still have to figure out ways to process and deal with that. And even if you are a person that financially you can't go get a massage, or financially you can't go and talk to a therapist, or whatever that may be, use other forms, whether it's going and speaking to a spiritual advisor or a pastor, whether it's just simply getting on your knees and praying, whether it's just, taking a nap, whatever it is, you do have to figure out ways to still be able to process and deal with that. And I'm glad that you said that, because there was a point in time when I have felt alone, and sometimes I still do, even in the midst of having people. In all honesty, sometimes I still do. Or even if I'm not feeling alone, sometimes those people aren't available for me to be able to have a dump session. So even in that, I still have to learn how to deal with and process it. So yes, whether it's the tapping or whatever whatever it is at that point, it's just that at this stage in my life, I have the ability now to call a Georgette and have a conversation, and she can walk me through tapping if that's what we desire to do at that point. I can call Lucretia or call Audrey and just talk about what I'm going through. I can call up my therapist, because yes, I do have one, and I don't feel no way about it, and say, hey, I need an emergency session, whatever that looks like. Oh, I can actually call another one of our sisters and say, girl, I really need a massage right now. I just need to just relax and get all this out. So it's wonderful to have that community, but if you don't have it, yes, utilize other resources to be able to help you get through that. It's on you, Miss Lucretia.
Well, I was just thinking about the type of individual, because I can only talk about myself. And I know some of the areas. I was actually speaking with Audrey the other day about some of my areas that I struggle with when I am going through, when I am experiencing a setback. And I know where I stand on. But when you actually have to apply those things that you share with other people about, it can be quite difficult, because I was listening to I'm always going to listen to a message. So I was listening to a message, and it was about ghosting. And I have a tendency to do that. And I didn't realize that I will do that. I will get on. If it's too heavy, I feel like it's going to be painful, I'm going to be embarrassed about something, I will totally detach. Not in the way that you're talking about, like go get your massage and go, just catch your breath and get back in the race. No, I will freeze in the race. And I'm like, and I just stand there looking at it. And I know I will. And I don't move forward. And people can get trapped in that space for years. I mean, you're functioning. I can get up and start my car. And it's not that so much I'm like depressed where I want to jump off a cliff or anything like that. But it's just, I'm just like, I'm not going to deal with this. You getting on my nerves. So the best thing I need to do, so you won't get on my nerves and I won't get on your nerves, I'm going to control this right here. And I know how to control me. So that means I'm not going to talk to you. And once I get to that point, what happened here? The issue is still there. Right. Nothing was resolved, and I wasn't trusting the process that you have to go through some things, whether it hurt, feel bad, you might be embarrassed, or whether you feel good. I'm going to try to predict the outcome. So in my mind, I'm saying, this ain't going to end good. Let me just leave this alone. Let me stop right here. And I have a tendency to do that. So when I heard the message about ghosting, it was talking about doubting Thomas. That's how we know him in today's age, how Thomas was, until he could only trust it based off of what he saw. So when he saw, he said, no, it said Jesus is back. He said, no, I got to see, I got to be able to stick my finger through the whatever. He did show up, and he did have that experience. But then there was another time, it says, and he left. So he left again because one of the disciples had committed suicide. We talking about Judas. These one of the bros, how he gonna, wait a minute, how he gonna just die and take his life like that? However, it was too much for him. So he just said, sure, I'm out of here. He was mentioned as being gone. But the point is, Jesus showed up again. You can miss opportunities. However, people want to look at greatness that shows up when you're present. You can miss it if you're not. And I'm one of those people that I have a tendency to miss it. Like when we did our launch, and I'm just probably overly transparent when I am. When I come on in, I'm in. And I don't mind being naked and not ashamed. sometimes, most times, but there are times when I can do that.
Yeah.
And at the launch, I was looking around, and I mean, it took all my strength for me to mentally and physically be there. And Letitia, she's, you know, she about that business. That's our shark, for y'all don't know. She on it. But she kept saying to me, you stop it. Stop it. Come right on back in here. And I'm talking about tears was like right there. My throat was tight, and I was hearing all of this stuff, and I couldn't settle the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But she kept saying, you sit, look how I run it. I'm sitting right next to you. And come on, we right in here. No, you're not going by yourself. And that goes back to what Georgette was saying, that sometimes we haven't even known each other a long time, but we've formulated this family here, this unit, but she's sensitive. See, a lot of times we can be sensitive in the spirit to what an individual needs. So I was so grateful for that I was able to press through, and I did not miss the moment. And that's what you need sometimes. You got to have people in your life who can help you stay present. And that's what's beautiful. And that goes back to what Audrey was saying about that unity. That when you could communicate, be it verbal or just watching and being attentive, we can get some things done here. And so when I heard that message about ghosting, immediately it was dropped in my spirit to call Audrey, I'm connected to her, you know, and I'm like, Audrey, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, I know. She was like, but this where we going. And that's a beautiful thing. And so that's how we're going to get to our greatness, by being able to communicate.
And let me say this, because Lucretia, you're being a little modest as well. So in the midst of all of that, you know, and her not feeling whatever she was feeling at the moment, she has got a lot of pre-sales. So
yeah.
I don't know why she didn't say that, but I'll help her and I'll say it for her. She got a lot of pre-sales because her product, her book, it is phenomenal. We all are chopping at the bit.
Yes,
waiting. So her greatness was already there for her. She just got to continue to plug in and be surrounded. So yes, I did not want her to miss out on that. Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely not. And because she stayed there, that's a testament of her greatness as well, that she sat in that.
Yes.
In all the mist that she was feeling and overwhelming, she sat in that. Because she could have easily been like, Letitia, girl, whatever, I'm out. But she didn't.
But you can't.
We would all tackle her. That's not going to happen.
Right. With this group, you can't.
But my thing is, a lot of people, a lesser person who is not strong in their faith and their ability, and even in themselves, would have, and in all honesty, we're saying all that, and it would have been understood, because there was a lot going on that day, and it was very much emotional, and it was a beautiful event.
And
there was some setbacks.
Yeah, she's absolutely, and she stayed there, and she stayed in the midst of all that, and as a result, she was blessed not only by what she was feeling, by the camaraderie, and also because of also the support, you know. So that could have been a mind-blowing setback for her, but she did not allow it to be. So again, this is what I'm trying to say. A lot of times, you know, we deal with all of this stuff, and I'm sure it's because of life and you know, being a little bit more mature and things like that. She understood, no matter where I am right now, I hear the assignment is for me to sit here and stay in it. And her maturity level allowed her to do that. So I didn't want to gloss on that, my sister. I wanted to make sure that we understood what the magnitude of that really was.
And I know we get ready to cut it short too. I mean, finish up, close up. But just to say, I'm glad that, and thank you for saying that. And very quickly, when you have purpose, because we all do, if you get caught up in communicating in a negative way, you can offset your purpose, and it can snuff out or stagnate, you know, cause what your purpose is to become stagnant. And the message, or who the message is for, it can't get out there, you know. So that's the trick right there, because it is a powerful word that's in that book. And that's, you know, and in this whole thing. And that's enough. But back over to you. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say before we close out, because I know Letitia got to get on the road, and I got a meeting, and I'm sure Georgette and Creesha got something to do too. One of the most important things about anything is if there's a problem, if you're going through something, get plugged into somebody positive. Now, here's the thing: positive is different for everybody, right? Because your positive and my positive may be totally different. Now, if you can look at the thing and know that it's going to help you. It's going to help you stay put. It's going to help you stay plugged in. Plug in somewhere, because that's the other important thing. Like, a lot of people won't plug into anything. They try to figure it out by themselves. You know, they don't want to tell. They're ashamed. They're embarrassed, and nothing. I had someone call me the other day. They told me I was in tears, and I was like, why? And they told me why, right? Why they were in tears. But if you saw the person, you wouldn't even think that, but they were. And it's because you got to stay plugged in. I can't say that part enough. That being said, we would like to invite you to be a part of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. You can do that by going to www.gwinnettwomen'schamber.com.
I love it. Great segue.
Plug in.
I had to leave on an up note. Listen, it's our hour's up with you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. You know, we want. Listen, thank you to D Dozier for sharing your thoughts with us about Gwinnett County. D Dozier, I just want to say that I love Gwinnett County. I wasn't born in Gwinnett County. I was born in Doherty County. I was raised in Essex County, but I live in Gwinnett County right now, and I love it here. For those of you who have spent your entire life here, I get it. I get why you feel like some, things are off. I get that. But for us that moved here, we're implants, as I was told, like you guys are implants. We're implants here. We happen to love it here. And what I would say to you is this: find a way to make the system better. If you still live here, find a way to make it better. And when I say make it better, I don't mean get involved in the politics, right? If the teachers are suffering, how can you? Teachers have always suffered. Just go back, not just in Gwinnett, everywhere. They've always suffered. Why? Because they're raising their children and yours. That is why. My brother's an educator, been one for 25 years. He has told me he's an uncle, he's a father, he's a coach, he's everybody. To these, not just the boys, to the girls as well. So if you know there's a problem, be a part of the solution. That's all I'm saying. Be a part of the solution and promote unity. We'll be fine.
Can I give him a shout out?
Yes.
Because he's one of the top coaches in DeKalb County.
I know, right?
Am I right?
Yes.
Shout out to you, Coach Ken. Shout out to you. Well, Coach Bell. That's right.
Coach Bell. Love them kids, y'all. He been loving them. He used to try to get me to be a teacher, but see, I would be the teacher up in there fighting with everybody else because, I got to fight for the kids. I got to fight for the teachers. Let me just tell you this. This is probably something you guys did not know.
And I got to leave y'all. I love y'all. Bye.
I'm about to stop talking too. I used to work in a hospital. I worked in a hospital for 8.5 years. I was a union delegate, which was fine for me because that's what I did. I had to fight, and that would be me up in the teachers union. I would have been a part of the teachers union fighting for the teachers. So just know, Miss Dozier, D Dozier, I would have been the ones fighting for the teachers. So anyway, I fought for the hospital workers. I would have fought for the teachers. A lot of people don't know that. I forgot all about that, actually. All right, ladies, thank you again. Listen, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Friday Morning Mingle brought to you by Good Morning Gwinnett. If you do not know, Good Morning Gwinnett is a live audio show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. You can find out more and listen live by going to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com, and you can find out more about all the articles we have there as well. To visit these ladies' website, you can go to dynamiclifeenterprise.com, dynamiclifeenterprise.com, and you can get your jet. You can go to premiertaxga.com, premiertaxga.com, and you can get Letitia. So we thank you again for being here. We really appreciate your time. And we'll be back again next Friday, same time. So you guys stay safe out there. Have a wonderful weekend. And until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Friday Morning Mingle. If you enjoyed this episode of the show, be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite streaming platform. If you would like to join a community of women who mean business, we invite you to become a member of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce by going to www.gwinnettwomen'schamber.com. or to become a member of the Thrive Tribe, go to www.thrivetribe.biz. Tune in next week for another great episode of the Friday Morning Mingle at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.